Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I'm sharing my newest journal using Sam Poole's kits, Graceful Birds 1 and 2, her Country Farm, a few papers from Country Farm, and number 5 pattern papers, and her Woodlands kit. This is my second Graceful Birds journal, and it would have been done a few weeks ago, but we've been house sitting for our son and daughter-in-law for the past 3 weeks, and it's just been difficult to come home and work on something. We basically just had time to come home and eat and get cleaned up, go to sleep, and wake up and take off the next morning. So I didn't get much done, and so I was just so uninspired because I was doing a little gardening and stuff up there, and then I do a little stuff on the weekends at home, and we managed to move 20 yards of mulch, which is still, I can't believe it. My back believes it. But my husband, of course, did most of the work. But yeah, it's been quite an ordeal. So unfortunately, I also left my muse up in Michigan. She didn't make it home with me, so I kind of had to fight myself to get this finished. And I did this, I finished it the day before yesterday, and then last night I finished the clasp. So for the front cover, for the journal, it's a hardback cover that I used a beautiful fabric for, like a tapestry, and then I used coconut paper, and I did a little stitchery on linen, a silk ribbon embroidery, and a little nest with a couple eggs in there, and then one of my bird charms, and then on the corners I just put the brass to carry out the theme, and used the brass closure with a jump ring, or lobster clasp, sorry. And to close it, I just made a, let's see here if I can get it from this angle. I made a band, like a belly band, that I just used a very simple silk ribbon embroidery, and then some little charms, like there's a swan charm, and then a little songbird charm, and then a little set of lovebirds. So we might as well start on the back since I used it as a belly band. Everything's going to escape. And on the back I just have a nice large journaling card from the kit. And then I did a collage journaling card. And this little book of feathers, it's a little feather collection. And it has paper feathers from cardstock, a couple little journaling cards. And then on the other side, I have put in some of I've collected feathers forever. And so I did add some feathers for decoration that are glued in. And then, of course, the little journaling card feathers. I just used acetate and just sewed them on the coconut paper, so it's nice and sturdy. So it's just a little feather collection. There's a tiny little one at the end, and I secured it with a piece of Amity Bloom tape. So I'll set that aside, and we'll get into it. It's not a large journal, even though it seemed to take forever to finish. Under the front cover is a pocket of lace, and I just have a large journaling card with a little lace border on it. And I use the feather as a tuck spot for some journaling cards in this pretty envelope from Sam's kit. She included several beautiful bird journaling cards, and I've sprinkled them throughout the journal. And on this side, it's just a little paper clipped envelope that's empty. You can put whatever you want in it. And I just put the little words, a nest. You can fill it with whatever you want. And I printed a nest on acetate for a pocket, and then used a couple of her journaling cards to tuck in here from cardstock. And this is just a flip out. I left plenty of space to write in. Oh, also her, oh, I don't know what they're called. They're her frames, or her window frames. It's a newer kit, and it was in these beautiful shades of greenish blue. So I used a couple of those. I put acetate in them, and I love the swallows. So I just put the little foam risers or whatever they're called, so I could use it as a belly band. And I used the different variations of birdhouses as a journaling card. And under this fussy cut bird is another swallow journaling card. And this is just a simple little paper clip. I love this little lace. I think it's from Gisela from Lavish Laces. I'm not positive, but I think it is from her. It's just the prettiest little, like a linen. It's just a beautiful little dainty lace. And oh, I tucked in a few of these. I had this little bird guide that I found at an estate sale, and the little boy who owned it, his name was Robbie Tiller. And it has the prettiest little colorful photos in it. So I used a few of those in here. And it is from 1937. So I love, these are from Odelsina, and they're my favorite digital that she has. She's got tons of digitals, but this is my absolute favorite. I don't know if it's the color or just the composition of the digital or the little roses, but I love this. And it was kind of blended in. I had it already printed in my stash, so I decided to use it. Oh, I also used Sam's, not Women in White. What are they? Well, I'll list them, but I used, because I just am pretending that they are bird watchers and bird collectors. I think we all, if you enjoy watching birds, I think if you find an abandoned nest that's never going to be used again by a bird, the ones that are really in bad shape, I just kind of put them in my garden throughout so the birds can pick from it and use the grasses and feathers and yarn sometimes, whatever they can find to purpose to make another nest. But the nicer ones, I do have a collection on my front porch on an old, an antique metal filigree stand, and it holds the bird. And somebody was trying to have an argument with me on Instagram about how I'm not supposed to pick up a nest in the middle of the road, which is senseless to me. She said, oh, you're going to get arrested and fined. And I'm like, oh, I'll take my chances. It's going to get squished. So yeah, I'm going to pick it up if it's in the middle of the road. I don't go finding nests in trees and taking them. I don't do that. But if it's fallen in the ground, yes, I'm going to collect nests like this one. This was in the ground, not the egg, of course, that's fake. But can you imagine that getting squished in the road when it could just be enjoyed? I love when I see it, I love it. So anyway, that's my little rant. So this is just a flip out of a feather with some vintage lace and some certificates or vintage papers. And I put a little, this is a little wren or a bluebird. I'm gonna say it's a robin with some vintage lace for on that paper clip. Oh, and I used my bird paper punch to punch out some of the pages just to carry the theme through. And some vintage paper, and these are not in the kit, but I love these papers, and I always like to use them because of the little bird, and I love the color. So I printed out a couple of those for some journaling space. This is a handmade paper, and this is in the kit, bird notes. And here's a little crow or blackbird or raven. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know all my birds that well. And this little wage envelope is Sam's as well. And I used her gingham pattern paper, number 5. I love that color. And I also used the windows to tuck in these little girls feeding the birds. And the little bird that I punched out of the page is my little pull tab. And that just tucks under this little egg collection. And another flip out. And some embossed paper with just this field notes came out of this bird guide. I thought that was kind of neat because it's stained, water stained. And then this is just a paint chip sample from Menards, but I love the color. So yeah, you girls have me grabbing a few paint chips samples when I go to Menards now with my husband. I can't grab a bunch. I just feel guilty, so I take a few. Anyway, this is vintage lace, and this frame I just use as a pocket, and I just did a tiny bit of adding a little header to that journaling card. This is handmade paper with a little trim and vintage lace. And some more vintage lace that I had dyed last year. I did a few rubber stamps throughout. I'm not really good at rubber stamping. I don't know why I keep buying rubber stamps. I'm just not good at it. And I don't enjoy it because I'm not good at it. I can't place them correctly, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, an Edith Holden page, because when I find one of her pages, well, especially with birds, that has the month that I've created the journal in, I like to put that page in my journals. I don't know if anyone noticed that. Probably not, but that's what I like to do. And this little glassine bag has some fussy cut birds that you can sprinkle about to decorate the journal further. And this little pocket was made with an old book page, and it just has a journaling card with one of the ruffles from an old pattern. And then behind it is another page from the bird guide book, and then a piece of ephemera in that pretty blue color. And I love this page from the kit. There's a little rubber stamp. And this pocket is not from Sam's kit, but it was pretty, and I already had it cut out, so I just put it there with a number and a little piece of vintage lace. And this is just a plain journaling card. I punched a bird out. And then this is in the kit. It's a Bluebird of Happiness poem. And these swan journaling cards can be removed. They just are in with the little photo corners. And this little page is from a children's school book. It's a little poem about snowbirds. And so I turned that into a pocket and put a journaling card in it. And some more handmade paper. And I tucked a little journaling card or glassine bag here with a little poem about a bird. And she's a journaling card. I love her. She has nothing to do with birds, but I love the color, and she's just one of my favorites, images that I've used a lot in my crazy quilting days. Just a little card to tuck into this. This was a journaling card. Sam put several in the kit, and I just turned this one into a pocket. And it's a flip out, little piece of bloom tape. And this little envelope is, oh yeah, it's just a pocket that I just did collaging with one of Sam's journaling cards and one of her papers from the kit. It's a nice, hard, sturdy journaling card. And this is paper cameo, actually. I made a few of these and just didn't do anything with them. She decorated them much nicer than this, but I just made small ones. And these little feathers are your journaling cards to put dates or notes or a special event that you attended. So I just tucked that little bird in here. Oh, and it's a 2 signature. And this is one of those really fine sheets that you find in between the book pages, and a piece of authentic tape that I removed from an old photo album. So it is very similar. I should have used the one that I've made, but it's very similar to the ones that everybody makes, you know, with the alcohol ink. But I thought it was neat, so I put that in here, a little bird stamp and a little ruffle lace on one side. And this little paper pocket from a book page just has a journaling card. So as you can see, there's a lot of room for writing. And this is simply a tuck spot. I didn't put anything in it. You can put whatever you want. It goes like to there. You can go under here too, but this isn't sturdy enough. So it's just a tuck spot of a bird. And another acetate pocket that I put a pretty little feather poem and one of Sam's beautiful envelopes, and it does have some of her journaling cards in it. The owl and swans. It's a beautiful collection that she's gathered. And then this is just a scrappy notepad with some leftover stuff. And I used a little egg for a tab. And here's another one of those field notes from the old book, Bird Guide. Another window, which I just used to put in 2 of the journaling cards. And I love this page with the nests. I had this in my stash already made. It's just a hidden paper clip. So I just added that. I put a little egg card. You could journal a date or something on the back. And another of Odelsina's. I just put on a piece of the dotted Swiss fabric. I love this page too. And another bird cut out. I don't remember where I got these, but I just use it as a tuck spot for some journaling cards. I just realized I'm out of frame. And just a flip. And this Uniquely Ella Marlene. Remember I got stuck on these and I just couldn't stop making them? Well, here's another. Just a tuck spot. It has an old, this is from one of my vintage embroidery books, or not embroidery, hand basket or work basket, but it had birds of fabric to birds of feathers. And this is the pattern. It's a quilt pattern. And then it had a little birdhouse down here, so I just wanted to put that in. Well, I'll do that later. And this is a real bird that I captured between acetate and another paint chip swatch. And I just put in 2 journaling cards and used it as a belly band. The Charm of the Imperfect. And this is one of Tracy Fox's hidden paper clips. It's got a little feather and a bell and some pieces of vintage lace. And I've tucked in some ephemera. I love this card. And here is another piece of, I backed them all so you can use them as a journaling card. And this sweet little image of a nest with a bunch of baby birds in there, waiting for a worm. And just a fussy cut, some vintage lace, some pretty blue papers. And I don't know where I got this. I think I got it from my friend Leslie. I'm not sure. And I just use it as a tuck. I thought it was sweet under the girls because they have a basket of flowers, and I just thought that kind of worked there. And these little birds, fussy cut, has a little tag and an egg, and you can write a date on the back of those. And here's that piece of that old paper. And some of Nazzie's bloom tape, the little bird. I went nuts and got several rolls of this because I absolutely love it. And it's even prettier in person. And this came off of an elementary history book, just a small one. And this is part of the binding with a couple pages. But it had the eagle and the United States, so I thought that would go nicely in here. And that's it. That is the Graceful Birds #2. And if you're interested, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram, Pat Winter Journals or Pat Winter Gatherings, and inquire about it. So thanks for joining me. Oh, and this is going to go with it. I had made these as a giveaway for my last tutorial on making, during the spring, from Raindrop Lila, the spring inspiration thing that we did. And I made these, and the 2 ladies that won didn't claim them. So I passed them amongst my friends, and the rest, I still make a few at when I can. I'm just going to always add 1 or more to a journal. They just slip over a page, and they can be used as a bookmark or just a little decoration. So I probably won't be doing any more giveaways because the last 2, the winners don't claim them, and I announce it on Facebook and Instagram and my YouTube channel, and I try to get a hold of them, and they just don't respond. So I'm not going to do that anymore. It's not worth the disappointment of nobody showing up basically for the party. So, yeah, that's a lot of ranting I did today. I'm just kind of not, I'm feeling a little out of sorts. I think 3 weeks away from home just kind of, I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I do thank you, and I thank you for subscribing and for just stopping by and for your comments. I really appreciate them. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.